Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the nr2003 2007, but it follows the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. Tonight we race from the Texas Motor Speedway, where Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon have set it on the pole. We have 3 stages as per usual tonight, those ending on 37, 83, and 134. Before we get into the starting lineup for tonight's race, let's take a look at the points heading into tonight so you can see where your favorite driver stacks up. On the pole is Jimmy Johnson, and it's a Hendrick Motorsports lockout of the top 3 as Jeff Gordon starts next to him and Kyle Busch lines up in the 3rd spot. Next to Kyle Busch is Matt Kenseth with Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch making up row number 3. Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards in row number 4 with Martin Truex Jr. and Clint Bowyer in row number 5. Row 6 consists of Greg Biffle and Ryan Newman with Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row number 7. Row 8 consists of Casey Mears and Bobby Albani with Juan Montoya and Elliott Sadler behind them. Jamie McMurray and Casey Kane in row number 10. With Reed Sorensen and Mark Martin in row number 11. David Stremme and David Reagan make up row number 12 with Denny Hamlin and Dave Blaney in row 13. Row 14 is Robbie Gordon and David Gilliland with J.J. Yaley, who had a good run last week, next to Tony Raines in row number 15. Row 16 consists of Paul Menard and Ricky Rudd, and row 17 consists of Jeff Green and Scott Riggs. Brian Vickers and Kyle Petty make up row number 18, with John Andretti and Sterling Marlin in row number 20. Joe Nemechek and Dale Jarrett make up row number 20. Row number 20. Row 21 consists of AJ Allmendinger and Kevin O'Page, and Ward Burton will round out the field here for tonight's race. So with that out of the way, let's go down trackside to get the command to fire up these engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the engines are fired up from Texas. As you see the field rolling off pit road, you're going to see a bit of a top line here in the race tonight, but when they come off turn 2, that high line can be ruled useless because, the drivers will go just for a little more, and then a little more, and then a little more, and then they'll go up into that outside wall down that back straightaway. As you can see, we are on the 2013 configuration of Texas Motor Speedway, and not the modern version you see on Sundays these days, which is hopefully going to provide better racing for the night. Again, stages are 37, 83, and then 134 is when you see the checkered flag. Johnson finally got his win for this year a couple weeks ago at Bristol. Jeff Gordon is yet to win in 2007. Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth line up behind them, and we're coming on to the green flag. Will we see any lap 1 crashes? Here we go from Texas. Green flag in the air, and we are racing from the Texas Motor Speedway, and it's Johnson who crosses the line for great start ahead of Jeff Gordon. Now you may see some lap 1 crashes. The top lane is going to be completely useless as the field gets up to speed here as they head down back straightaway for the first time today. You may see someone go around here as Kyle Busch is wasting no time from 3rd to maybe 1st as he goes side by side with Jimmy Johnson for the race lead. As they head down the run straightaway for the first time, it will be Kyle Busch who leads lap number 1, and I believe we have a caution. Yes, we do, and it's a big crash. Paul Menard in it with Dale Jarrett, Ward Burton, J.J. Yaley went for a slide as well. And these are the dangers of an early crash here. It can completely derail your night. As you can see, Yaley just got up the track into Robbie Gordon. And then he gets tagged by Paul Menard. Brian Vickers gets in it Joe Nemechek a piece, Dale Jarrett. I don't know if Kevin O'Page got a piece. It appears he didn't. But the caution out already on lap 1. And they're going to all come down pit road. JJ Yaley out of the race. There's Paul Menard. He's probably going to be done for the day. Both drivers who had really good runs last week at Talladega, and that kills their momentum already here on lap 1 at Texas. Everyone here is mainly stopping for fuel, so Kyle Busch is going to come out with the race lead expectantly, as you'll see your favorite driver leaving pit road. So Menard and Yaley both expectingly out of the race, but everyone else involved in that lap 1 wreck will get to continue on with their night. And will this be the start of a chaotic night in Texas? You saw some chaos there at Kansas that led to late race restarts. I cannot speak tonight. That led to late race restarts. But Kyle Busch will lead the field back to the green flag. The 5 already has 2 wins this season. Can he add another one here in Texas? Here we go. Green flag back in there. Kyle Busch leads us to it. As the field heads off for 1 and 2. Johnson trying to make a gain on Kyle Busch. He's gonna maybe get the look low here off turn 2. The fresh tires mean a lot here. They didn't change tires there at the first caution though, but Johnson's gonna be side by side for the lead of Busch. And you'll see how this top line works a little bit now if Kyle Busch stays outside here into 1, which it appears he will do as Johnson gets to lead the lap. But you'll see how much this top line can do and how much it can bite a driver, because here's Kyle Busch. He's going to go up the racetrack. He's going to hang, but I think he's actually gone a bit too wide, and yes he has, because Kyle Busch is going to get the wall. As they head for 3 and 4 in, Johnson and Burton have sort of gapped themselves from the rest of these cars as we race down the front straightaway. Oh, we got another crash. That's Brian Vickers involved. Scott Riggs in the 10. Caution's out. Second time in the first 10 laps. Riggs just drove it in deep and he clears himself on the 14 of Marlin. That's why you saw the side damage. On the 14, Vickers just does not brake there as he slides into the 10 of Scott Riggs, and that'll be their day done. We were originally looking back there because Joe Nemechek was going a bit slowly. But are they all going to pit again? Yes, they will. And they are having some sort of issue here trying to get to pit road. That's the 01 of Mark Martin, who is having trouble even making it to pit road. So we'll have a look at what happened to Martin in the 01. It looks like Sadler got into him, and Gilliland. It looks like that the game didn't disable collisions on the cars in time, and now that's why you see the beat up hood on David Gilliland. Mark Martin will now be the only car one lap down here, but once we get another caution, which the earliest one we can expect is lap 37, then he'll be back in it. So he's just gotta hang it out until then. Green flag back in there, and it's Jeff Burton leading us to it. Both Jeffs right here at the front of the field. And next time out, we get to go to Watkins Glen, and you know who won the last road course here? Jeff Burton at Circuit of the Americas. So we'll see how he performs next weekend, or this weekend actually, at Coda, because this is releasing on a Tuesday. What's not releasing on a Tuesday is Jeff Gordon's pass for the lead. But Jeff Gordon is going to make a move for the lead, but Jeff Burton is going to stay to his outside as they go down the front straightaway. Now Burton's going to hang side by side with Johnson, but this is the disadvantage I talked about. Just wants a little more, and he can't get it because he gets the wall here. See Kyle Busch absent from this battle, the 5 all the way back in 22nd position, but he's making quick work of the cars around him. Ward Burton in the 4 with an issue, he's going to come to pit road. Dale Jarrett with a missing hood. We'll get Burton around the outside of Kurt Busch. There's how the top can work for drivers here at Texas. That was a beautiful outside by the 31 of Jeff Burton, and he's not done. He was the 4th at the start of the lap. He's going to be 3rd here at the end of this lap. Burton could fight back. He just saw the move Burton pulled off turn 2 last time by. Here's Gordon with the run. They stay side by side. Gordon able to just keep it off the wall. Now how can he carry this momentum in the 3 and 4? Not very well. The top is not as good in 3 and 4 as it is down in 1 and 2, and I think we got another caution, but no, we don't have another caution. Saw a bit of smoke there, but no yellow flags. Dale Jarrett and Joe Nemechek both going pretty slowly. They'll catch both of them soon, but Mark Martin's running around out here with no back bumper, I believe, and he's keeping up. Kevin LePage right here also has most of his bumper gone and no hood. But there's the battle for the free pass at the moment, Martin and Ward Burton. Burton just got fresh tires, so he has 17 lap fresher tires than the 01 of Martin. So it'll be interesting to see how this battle for the free pass plays out. And obviously we'll see how quickly that lasts. Not long. Mark Martin flies by on the inside. And they caught Joe Nemechek in the 13 car. They are struggling to get around him. Nemechek's actually going to get called off the track for not meeting minimum speed. And so will the 44 of Dale Jarrett. And Burton is still getting held up by Nemechek, so is Edwards. You see Ricky Rudd on pit road with some sort of issue. Sorry, my V key will not work tonight, so... Just try to blow some dust off it. And there's David Gill on down pit road, so a couple cars here pitting. Maybe to see if they can do anything with fresh tires. I don't see what the point of that would be though. Because you see the 88 car, he is lapped now. And I think that's actually 2 laps down for the 88 of Rudd. As he comes back onto the racetrack, we'll see how his new tires perform against these cars around him. Once he's fully up to speed, that is. Kurt Busch just made a pit stop, so Kurt Busch also pits for new tires. So is this pit strategy, is everyone going to come down then? And you see Clint Boyer battling Jeff Gordon for the race lead. So it'll be interesting to see how Kurt Busch takes off. That's going to be a real gauge of how much time you can make up by practically undercutting everyone. As you see Kurt Busch 31st, 1 lap down. He's going to have to run down the 7, who is currently on pit road. So Kurt Busch would currently be in the free pass position if we got a yellow, if that pit stop was unscheduled. But they're only about a 10th off of what they were running at the start of the race. So I don't think that the Kurt Busch pit stop was scheduled. I think he had something go wrong, but I don't see anything. They're racing down the back straightaway though, and they're going to catch the lap car of Gilliland, who recently pitted, but that does not make his car fast. Gilliland has had a big fall off this season. After winning the Daytona 500, was contending around the bubble there for a while, but he started to fall off. But if you're this 38 car, you want to stay out here and get as many points as you can, because you're still top 20 in points, I believe. I'm not like looking at the points right now. There's Mark Martin slow in 3 and 4. There's Denny Hamlin coming off pit road. So Kurt is running, well, Kurt ran a 31 last time, but let's see what he can run in clean air here for a lap. Is it going to register for him? You see Reed Sorensen coming off pit road. But we'll watch Kurt again, because it should be registering his laps. Not much going on at the front of the field right now, as the top 4 have broken away, but let's see what Kurt Busch is running, and then we'll compare that to Jimmy Johnson's most recent lap. (31.1). Okay, so Kurt Busch is running 31s. So he must have a problem on that number 2 car that they'll have to sort out under the stage caution. There's Kevin Harvick trying to navigate his way through lap traffic. He wants to be there at the front with this little group breakaway. As you see Kyle Petty going a lap down. He's not had the pace that Bobby Labonte has had at all this season. There's AJ Allmendinger also going a lap down, and Ward Burton in the 4. But it's the 200 cars that have broken away at the front of the field now. Johnson and Gordon. Again, Gordon's looking for his first win of the season. He'll have a good shot at Watkins Glen next week, or next time out, if he can't get it done today. And I know that Jeff Gordon would really like to not have to rely on the road course of Watkins Glen to wait for a race win. As you see Gordon running a bit higher than Johnson, and that's because Johnson's actually coming to pit road. So these are scheduled pit stops. That first little group just pitted a little earlier. So that'll be interesting to watch. Oh, Kyle Busch and Casey Kames just got the ball trying to go way wide around the lap car of Kyle Petty. Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart are struggling to even get by the 45. I guess they just got checked up so much. Or they got checked up by pitters, as here's Jeff Gordon down pit road. Johnson gonna get off pit lane, and the caution is going to fly. Did that just shake up this whole race? What's the caution for? Did someone fall asleep on the button? Is it the 19 is Sadler that went around? Yeah, that's strange then, because I don't see what the caution was for. But that's going to give Matt Kenseth control of the race. Now let's see if all the lap down cars decide to stay out. Was it Ricky Rudd who went around? Oh, there was a... It was Mark Martin who went around. Was it... Okay, we're trying to find the cause of this caution. No, it's already out here. So what happened to Kane? Kane's slow here on the front straightaway, and he just gets the wall and spins down in the Mark Martin. And then Mark Martin nearly gets slammed by Johnson. Kurt Busch was the one who hit him. And then Ricky Rudd, Denny Hamlin, Reed Sorensen also all sliding in. So a strange set of circumstances here bring out the caution at Texas Motor Speedway. I'm gonna try. Just making sure that my key isn't like fried or anything. But the 29 of Harvick is going to get the wave around because all the lap down cars made it off the lead lap cars. So we do have one lap to green. I think the 37 car might have stayed out, so he did wave around. Now we're gonna look back to see the yellow flag again. This may only give us one lap for the stage before we have to immediately line it back up again. Or it may extend to the stage caution, which would allow Matt Kenseth a free stage win. The field's coming off turn 2, so they're going to have to make a decision if this is going to end the stage or not. And it will be. So Matt Kenseth is going to win stage number 1 because these guys cannot get it together up here. So this is going to be the end of stage 1 when we come back around here. There's Harvick, who got the free pass. He'll be getting to restart. I think he'll be around the back of the field, wouldn't he? Yeah, so they're going to send Harvick to the back. So these top 10 right here are all going to be our top 10 in stage number 1 here from Texas. Green flag back in the air. Kenseth leads him in the 1. Now Harvick has to try to work by the lap traffic. And they're wrecking ahead. Kyle Petty in the wall with Gilliland, and the caution will fly again. Now the question is, who got the free pass that time around? Scoring says Jimmy Johnson. So let's take a look at what happened to Kyle Petty. Just comes up the track and clears himself on David Gilliland here in the 38. And that is what brings Jimmy Johnson back into this race and on the lead lap. And you see everyone's going to pit. And it'll be Martin Truex Jr. who wins off pit road. So Truex in the 1 will get off pit road first and will be the new race leader. Are they gonna... Yeah, Johnson is gonna get left by the field. So the top 11 now on the lead lap. This is great for someone like David Stremme or David Reagan, who was just running along there with the pit stop strategy and happened to have a top 10 following their lap for now. But here we go, back to the green flag. And then 1 and 2 they go. So about 40 laps until the next stage caution. We'll probably see pit stops again if we get a long enough green flag run. But Kenseth's going to dive to the inside on Truex Jr. and Earnhardt Jr., the teammate to Truex, is looking as well. Side by side, several rows deep as they head for 1 and 2 again. Earnhardt Jr. slipping up the track. That's going to allow Truex to have the run on exit. But Truex is going to get the wall. They're going to stay side by side to 3 and 4, but Jr. has help from Mears. Now Mears is going to look free wide for second, but he'll probably have to settle for third. If he can get around Truex Jr., that is, as Truex brings the side draft back to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Kenseth is enjoying this, and his Mears as he continues to run away with the race lead. But now Jr. gets clear, and now Mears is going to go to work on Martin Truex Jr. and potentially Dale Earnhardt Jr., but Jr. throws the block there on Mears. And there you see Harvick working his way back through the field, trying not to let Kenseth get too out of sight. If they keep battling, Kenseth is going to get away, And there's Boyer running up the track to try to get Casey Mears, but Mears is going to use the top to clear and rocket into third still. There's Jeff Burton in the mix, he's a lap down. So Burton racing to try to get back on the lead lap, showing that he has the pace to keep with these guys. But now they've caught up to Kenseth as they formed up here. Boyer looking for a move on Mears, gets him a little arrow loose there on exit. Backed off a little bit to not spin him. And then you see those lap cars, you wonder why someone like David Gilliland will stay out for so long. Because of all of these wrecks that have been happening. Gilliland is at the 27th spot. Hamlin was battling around that cut line. He's gonna have a bad day. He's pretty much out of the race. He is out of the race. Three wide behind him as Truex gets the wall. Burton 2 for 1, and he's not even on this lead lap. He's trying to lap the whole fashion race. So is Ryan Newman. Newman's on the lead lap, sorry. But Jeff Burton's trying to unlap the old-fashioned way. Still not completely sure what that that was the third caution of the day. Not completely sure what it was for still. I guess they just saw a butterfly on the track. As they race through 3 and 4 again. Kenseth with a 2/10 gap on Dale Earnhardt Jr. and now Earnhardt Jr. is going to be under fire from Jimmy Johnson in the 48. But now Boyer is going to look low on the 48 of Johnson. But again, Boyer slides up the hill. Mears is going to maybe get a 2 for 1 here on the top side. He clears Burton and he's going to be side by side with Boyer in the free. Boyer cannot get it to stick on the bottom there in 1 and 2. And here's Johnson on Earnhardt Jr. Use that momentum from the runoff 1 and 2 to get to the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Side drafting down the front straightaway. Now can the 8 of Earnhardt Jr. use the top to get a run, or he's going to maybe even miss the line he wanted to use. He's going to get cleared by Clint Boyer in the 07 as well. Now Johnson is caught back up to Kenseth. And he's brought Boyer with him, and the caution flag is out for Tony Raines going for a slide. So Raines will bring out the caution here. He was running 21st as he got into it with Dave Blaney in the 96. Like Dave Blaney in the 22. So they're going to come down pit road. Jeff Burton will get the free pass. Almost got the lap back straight up, which Carl Edwards was rooting for him to do for a while. As game froze a little bit there. I'll see if any of these cars that are lap. And Jeff Green just got driven through by John Andretti. Kevin LePage is going to pile into this. And that's going to be hood damage for Ward Burton. So nobody's going to stay out, but you just saw the AI crashing into each other under yellow. But it'll be Kenseth that comes out of pit road ahead of Johnson, just barely though. Some of these back markers have surprisingly high pit selections, as you see Ward Burton get sent to the garage. But Dave Blaney stayed out, so he'll get the wave around. And Jeff Burton will get the free pass. So whenever we get our next caution, Tony Stewart is in position to take the free pass. So we're coming back around to the green flag, and it's Kenseth who leads us back to it. As they head through 1 and 2. Jeff Burton actually got shuffled out of line there, and is going to get passed by a bunch of lap down cars. But Johnson making a move for the lead on Kenseth as John Andretti, with an issue, engine issue, he pulls it into pit road, and that'll be his day done. I told you this race could get chaotic, and now there's 28 cars left on the racetrack. Kenseth trying to make that outside work to get past Boyer. He's going to have the momentum down the back straightaway as he heads through turn 3 and 4, slightly ahead of the 070s. They may be 3 wide here down the front stretch, as here's Earnhardt Jr. to the bottom. Kenseth's going to slide up into 1. But he's going to get cleared by Earnhardt Jr. and Clint Boyer as they run down the back straightaway side by side now, and Johnson's pulling away with the race lead. And Johnson likes seeing everyone racing in his mirror, because that means he can run away to currently a nearly half-second lead in the free pass battle for whenever we get another caution. That currently goes to Tony Stewart, who is actually running inside of this group. So Stewart and Edwards are trying to come up through the field and unlap the old-fashioned way like Jeff Burton was trying to, as Harvick, Mears, and Earnhardt Jr. are going to be 3 wide down the front straightaway now. Sliding up the hill, Junior and Mears made some slight contact, and that's going to send Mears into the wall off turn 2. And Johnson again just driving away from this whole battle itself. He'll come across the stripe about 0.5 of a second ahead. However, gets to the outside, he gets the wall though. And Stewart's putting pressure on Truex. He wants to go after Johnson to get back on the lead lap. But Ryan Newman is right behind Tony Stewart, and Stewart's going to almost get into Truex. Would have sent him around there off turn number 4. Down the front straight away. As Stewart looks inside on Truex, can't quite get it done yet. But this is also helping Truex, as you see him just getting closer to Johnson, but Stewart wants to make the move. And he wants to do it quick as well, as we've got about 20 laps to the end of this stage. There goes the 20 for his move on the 1. It's going to allow Johnson to get away a little bit again, but Stewart can't even get to the inside of Truex. Here comes Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon also trying to race for their lap back. And again, Stewart can't get to the inside of Truex. Now he will, as they run side by side off turn number 2. To 3 and 4 they go again. It's Stewart inside of Truex. is not for position. Stewart gets by Truex, and now Edwards is going to be the next one to take a look. Stewart clear of Truex down the front straightaway. Now Edwards making a move to the inside on the one, and this is allowing Johnson's gap to extend, because for now he has 2 lap cars between them. And second place for now, Martin Truex Jr. They're going to come up on the lap car of Dave Blaney, who's going really slowly, because that could be the opportunity for Johnson, as we're now on lap 67. Into 3 and 4 they go. And now Edwards is going to be side by side of Tony Stewart potentially down the front straightaway. Thinks better of it. Tires have fallen off about 0.2 of a second since the best lap they ran. Johnson's going to get boxed in. Almost gets boxed in by Blaney. Stewart needs to get low. Otherwise, he's going to lose all the progress he made towards getting to the 48 of Johnson. But now Edwards is going to look at getting his lap back. And how will he go about it, because Johnson's on the defensive. And Johnson knows that this could be for the win later on in the night if Edwards does get by. But Edwards is going to jump low here off 2. It's really going to depend what this lap car of AJ Allmendinger is going to run. Johnson not letting Edwards get by easy though, as they're going to run side by side down the front straightaway, but Edwards is going to be back on the lead lap when we cross the line. Crew 1 and 2, they go again. Maybe 3 and 4, they go again. Johnson's going to immediately jump back to the inside of Carl Edwards and gets to use the lap car of AJ Allmendinger as a pick. And I think we've got... No, I thought we had a caution, but apparently we do not. So Edwards, who just did all of that to get back on the lead lap, has it taken away from him as Johnson was smart enough to use that lap car as a pick. And Stewart's going to die for pit road with Truex Jr., so we'll see how that strategy works out, as the tires are falling off a good amount. Johnson and Edwards around the outside of the lap car of David Gilliland, but Gilliland is able to get back to Johnson's inside and then clear off turn number 2. Now the best course of action for Edwards would have been to dive oil if Gilliland had just pulled down a little sooner. And you'll see the 20 of Stewart and Truex Jr. coming off pit road here, and Kyle Busch in the 5. Jeff Green in the 66 lap car up ahead. Edwards and Gordon and Johnson are going to peel to pit road. Johnson drove it a little bit deeper, and it's most of these guys coming to pit road. Now if you're Stewart or Truex or Busch, now's your chance to go get your lap. But they're already heading down pit road. There's Johnson. Stewart's gotten 1 lap back. We'll see how the stop goes for Johnson. bit slow there for Johnson. Edwards is going to come out side by side and ahead of him. Way ahead of him as well. And there's Stewart in the 20 to unlap. So 2 cars getting their lap back. Kyle Busch got held up by the lap car of Gilliland, and so did Martin Truex Jr. There's Clint Boyer coming off pit road with no traffic around him. Has he made an undercut on Johnson? No, I don't believe he has. Because he may have actually. Here they come. Here comes the blend. As they come down the back straightaway, Johnson with a much larger head of steam compared to Boyer, but Johnson's going to barely nose ahead. So now Jeff Gordon is racing to get back onto this lead lap against the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Edwards and Stewart have already raced back onto the lead lap with a little bit of help from their pit strategy. But there's the lap car, the 66 of Jeff Green. That's going to affect either Edwards or Stewart. The lap car is going to drift high here, so it's going to affect Carl Edwards more than it does Tony Stewart as they come down the back straightaway. But for them, it's lucky they didn't get too held up by it. As Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon will be racing for the free pass if Kyle Busch can catch up to this 24 car. Which we'll see, because Busch is going to drift up the hill. So they're still sliding around a bit. Maybe the pit stop was for fuel? Because they're still running 38s. Edwards and Stewart are running 31s. But no slower traffic ahead of Edwards and Stewart for them to worry about here before we get to the stage end. And now none for Johnson to worry about. As this train heads around the 66 of Green, Kenseth's going to look low, trying to sweep the opening 2 stages. He's going to be on the quarter of Jimmy Johnson. Side by side for 1 and 2. Kenseth's going to slide up the hill. Gordon's going to think about making it free wide. He's going to decide to stay in the line. Maybe get a chance at free wide again. Or maybe not, because here comes Harvick. 2 rows deep, and they're side by side here at the front. With 3 to go on stage 2. And Gordon has to be careful here as Kenseth clears into the race lead. Because here's Jeff Burton, that's the battle for the free pass. And Burton's going to get it as Johnson jumps back inside on Kenseth. So now Burton's moved into the free pass position for now. Gordon hopes is that Burton feels he can go get 3 cars in 1 lap, be back on the lead lap. Which could be possible because here comes Harvick down low. Dave Blaney coming off pit road though, where will he go? Johnson gets stuffed in the wall by the lap car of Blaney. That's going to allow Burton to get by. White flag in stage number 2, and it's Harvick who gets the lead. Kyle Busch trying to unlap himself around Kevin Harvick, but they're going to come to the checkered flag in stage number 2, and it's going to be potentially Kevin Harvick who comes around to win stage 2, but Kenseth is going to get to his inside as they race back to the caution flag. It'll be Kevin Harvick winning stage 2 from Texas. And Busch and Burton successfully race their way back on the lead lap. So Burton and Busch back on the lead lap now. That's going to allow Jeff Gordon to get the free pass. Oh, that was for the... Jeff Burton won the stage. We were so focused on Harvick and Kenseth that Jeff Burton won the stage. I thought he was lapped, wasn't he? Okay, that's a bit strange, but Kyle Busch gets the free pass. Okay. Bit of a blunder by me. And they're wrecking at pit entry again. They cannot get on the pit road tonight. So Tony Raines stayed out, it appears, and then so did Edwards and Stewart. Oh no, Edwards and Stewart pitted. So there's the free pass for Kyle Busch. He gets back on the lead lap here under this caution, and that still traps Jeff Gordon a lap down. But I think they're not done wrecking here tonight. Just a gut feeling. We're going to extend it a little bit because these lap cars are having trouble getting lined up. Back to the green, we accidentally went through the restart zone. Fast forwarding, but Kenseth leads him in the 1. The 96 of Raines is a bit slow, so I don't think there'll be too much of a contender in the outcome of this race, but Reagan and Stremme are going to get into it almost. Reminding everyone that they're still on the lead lap. But do we have any more cars off the wreck? As there's Jamie McMurray running up here around the top 5. Let's see what lap times they run here as they cross the line. Just for reference, when the tires do start to wear. For Kenseth, 39. So I think it'll be a bit quicker for the quickest lap times. And around goes the 26 of Jamie McMurray. Ryan Newman's going to get caught up in it. So too is Kyle Busch. The field piling in. It's the big one at Texas. Casey Kane caught up in it. That's Gilliland, Allmendinger in the 84. Stremme somehow gets through with minimal, and they are still wrecking up here. It's Montoya who drives straight in to the slow car of Casey Kane, and bam, bam, bam. That's most of the field caught up in it. Most of everyone that was left. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the the wrecks. Let's take a look at what happened. McMurray got loose, and I thought that was going to be a bit of a lazy spin, and then Kyle Busch got into it. Everyone just piles in after this. Casey Kane, Jeff Green. Like, great wreck avoidance by Kevin Page of all people. Dave Blaney's able to squeak through. And Jeff Gordon's going to be back on the lead lap. Several cars stayed out, including Greg Biffle, who is going to take the waiver rounds. The 22 is actually going to pit this time around. But it's going to be a good result for Dave Blaney and Kevin LePage, no matter what happens the rest of this race. They were both only one down, so I don't know why that. I guess they pitted. Well, we're going to be coming back to the green flag here from Texas. I don't know if Biffle and Gordon are going to catch the cue. Blaney and LePage will not, and the green flag is going to come back out. With barely anyone left here in the field at Texas, green flag flies. And when I say barely anyone, there's 14 cars left out here. So Dave Blaney and Kevin LePage are going to have amazing results. And here they go, through 1 and 2. It's Matt Kenseth with the race lead ahead of Martin Truex Jr. as they head down the back straightaway and towards turn number 3. Side by side for the race lead, Kenseth and Truex. That's going to be Kenseth at the line. No, it's Truex by 2/1000th of a second who leads the lap. And now Truex with the lead off turn 2. He clears Carl Edwards, able to block that run. As Truex clears Earnhardt Jr. down in the 1 and 2. Down back straight away they go. And look at Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. side by side. Off turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. It's a DI-12. There's the 2 lap cars of LePage and Dave Blaney right ahead of them. As now we have 34 to go from Texas. They're going to get held up by these two, LePage and Dave Blaney. I don't know why they don't just go around the top side. We're actually going to, since everyone got stacked up by that. Yep. And green, we missed the restart again. Edwards leads them down the front straightaway though. Here they go for 3 and 4 though, Edwards with the race lead still. Now Truex is going to look back to the inside as they run side by side for the lead, but Edwards is going to try to use the momentum from the top side as you saw Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson making contact. Truex now clear for the race lead as they come around, nearing 20 laps to go. Side by side off turn number 2. It's Edwards and Kenseth as Truex begins to pull away some. Truex has yet to win in the Cup Series this year. And how many of these guys will pit? Because it's going to be about 28 laps. We saw some people not even able to make their tires last that long with 28 laps. Because Edwards rockets around Dale Jr. for off turn number 2. And they'll probably come up on those lap cars again. But we called the caution because of how close they restarted to the leaders. We should have just delayed the yellow another lap. Kenseth and Truex side by side for the race lead. Here comes Edwards to the bottom, 3 wide. 3 wide off 2. Kenseth thinks he has Truex cleared, and his teammate Edwards is coming to join the party. If he can hang on Edwards' corner, they're going to be side by side here in the 1. Harvick's got to be careful to not get hooked here. Here they come for 1 and 2. They're going to be 3 wide here for not for long, because they're going to move to 3 wide for 2nd. Again, just got to be careful. Earnhardt Jr. and Kenseth get into it. There's contact down the front. Kenseth is going to go for a slide. They're going to crash down the front straight away. Caution flies again from Texas. Have we junked everyone yet tonight? Feels like we have. We're pretty close to it if we haven't done it yet. Kenseth gets the ball after getting squeezed by... It's like Kenseth just got stopped. Dead in his tracks. Did Muse get a piece of it? Muse got a piece of Jimmy Johnson as he was signing off. But it seems like Kenseth just gets stopped. Dead in his tracks. And look at that ride Jeff Burton takes across the front straightaway. Take a look from his onboard. Jeff Gordon was slow on the apron there, I was wondering. Oh, Gordon got a grandstand view of it, that's why. Got a grandstand view, yeah, crash. But just in time, they've been down pit road again, and Clint Boyer is going to come off with the race lead. And I think these two are going to pit as well. So Blaney and LePage are pretty much guaranteed the top 10 now. Kenseth somehow able to continue. That it is beyond me how the 17 of Matt Kenseth is 1 still out here and 2 still on the lead lap. We just fast forward for the restart again. But there you see it, Kenseth is just slow at the moment. But he's going about the same speed as the 22 and 34, so he shouldn't lose any more spots. But for someone like Mears, he's just stayed out of trouble tonight, and he gets to have a top 10. He can just ride around. He got a little bit of damage from that wreck. He's not going to be contending for this by any means, because that'll be down to Carl Edwards and Clint Boyer up here. Does this race have any more twists for us? Will we see anyone in this top 6 battling for the win come together here late in the going? We'll be able to track where the lap cars are because Kenseth's running right with them. And currently they are about 10 seconds back, I'd say. 8 seconds, okay. Here's Gordon looking for his first one of the season. Boyer hasn't won yet, and neither has Gordon. They're going to be 3 wide here for 3 and 4. They learned nothing from a few minutes ago. Absolutely nothing. That could have turned bad if Gordon had gone just a little bit further up. We would have taken some more people out just for fun. But that's going to bring Stewart Martin Jr. into it. Boyer now looking for the lead on Gordon as we inch towards 10 laps to go. Boyer's going to drive it in there, but Gordon's going to have the lead. Or the advantage here off 2 if he can keep it off the wall. He had to lift a little bit to keep it off the wall, but he kept it off the wall. Here they come for turn 3 and 4 though. Stewart slots up ahead of Edwards. Gordon with the lead here for 3 and 4 again. Sorry, I just had to read a school email. As they run side by side down the front straightaway. Boyer got an advantage ahead of Stewart here in the 1. And they're down into the 31s in terms of lap time. This lap car trio. Kenseth is running the same speed as them. I don't know if they're going to be a problem. They're about half a lap behind, so we'll just have to see. And Mears just hanging around back here, hoping that they all wreck so he can get a free win. But Jeff Gordon now starting to pull away from this group behind him as they battle. They're battling hard. Everyone in this group right here, other than Carl Edwards, has not won a race this year. I know. Last week's winner, David Ruderman, isn't even out here. He T&Q'd. That team's had a ton of struggles all year, and they're going to have PJ Jones in that car next week, I believe. Earnhardt Jr. looking low on Harvick and Stewart. But it's Edwards and Gordon who are going to be side by side for the lead as they run side 3 wide for third. Edwards can drive it off in there. Can he clear? Yes, he can. Carl Edwards to the point at Texas. Edwards clears Gordon by a good margin here. As here comes Gordon to follow Edwards here for 1 and 2. He's going to look low, and he's going to try to get the race lead back from the 99 of Edwards. Side by side again they go. The lap cars are losing about 2 seconds a lap, so it'll be interesting to see that's the plot on if they are a problem here at the end or if they'll get called to pit road. Because we're going to have exactly 10 cars running here at the end. And only 6 of them are capable of winning. It's going to be a huge day for Dave Blaney in the points. That'll probably help his point position a ton. I think that the lap cars will be told to get out of the way, as you got Kevin LePage with an issue. He's off the track. 34 is a tire down. The lap car is getting called off the track as all these guys slide up. Earnhardt Jr. wants to have a shot to go get Jeff Gordon. As Edwards and Boyer battle side by side, Edwards knows he can pass the 24 if given the chance. As they run through 3 and 4 here, Edwards now clear back into second ahead of Earnhardt Jr. Now he'll maybe have 1 or 2 shots to get Jeff Gordon. He's going to run a lower line here for 1 and 2. 2 laps to go. Boyer's going to look inside on Dale Jr. That's going to hold them up behind Edwards and Gordon. Where's Edwards make his move? Coming to the white flag from Texas. If you're Edwards, you're not lifting no matter what white flag in the air. Here's Edwards' move. For the lead down into turn 1. Can Edwards clear him? Yes, he can, but Gordon will have a shot to get him back. Here through turn 3 and 4. Carl Edwards with the race lead, but Gordon back to the inside. They're going to drag race here off turn 4 to the checker. Side by side, it's going to be Carl Edwards who wins at Texas. Edwards wins in a drag race over Jeff Gordon. Clint Boyer loses out to Dale Jr. for third. Harvick rounds out the top 5 ahead of Stewart. Casey Mears rounds out the cars on the lead lap.